Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to read the next story for our Storytime sessions this week, and we're reading stories all about ladybirds. So on Monday we read What the Ladybird Heard, and then on Tuesday we read The Very Lazy Ladybird, and then yesterday we read a story all about different facts and information book about ladybirds, and we read a special story for Rainbow class called Ladybug Girl. Today we're going to do another Julia Donaldson story, and we're going to read What the Ladybird Heard on Holiday. And today I want you to listen out and see if you can hear any rhyming words in the story. And if you can, later on with Mum and Daddy, you could probably write down some of those rhyming words in the story. So if you're ready, we're going to start with our listening hands, and we're going to say, "It's listening time, it's listening time." Shh, before we read the story by the author Julia Donaldson. What the Ladybird Heard on Holiday. I wonder where she went on holiday. I think the first picture will tell us very clearly where she went. So remember, listening out for rhyming words today. One fine day in the middle of May, the ladybird went on holiday. She flew to the town to see the sights, the streets and the shops and the bright, bright lights. She saw the parks and the palace too, and then off she flew to visit the zoo. So let's look at the rhyming words in that first part of the story. One fine day in the middle of the May, the ladybird went on holiday. She flew to the town to see the sights and the streets and the shops and the bright, bright lights. Sights, lights. May day. She saw the parks and the palace too. Then off she flew to visit the zoo. To and zoo. That rhymes. And if we look at this picture, we can see if we can guess where the ladybird is. I can see Buckingham Palace, where the Queen lives. I can see Big Ben, and I can see the London Eye, and I can see the Shard, and the Gherkin, and the big red buses, all the buses that we see in central London and around Mill Hill too, and the zoo in the middle that I'm sure lots and lots of you have been to and will go to again when we all go back to nursery. Let's listen out for more of those rhyming words in the story. And the crocodile snapped, and the tiger growled, and the lion roared, and the monkey howled. The elephant trumphed, trump, trump, trump. Harumph, said the camel with a great big hump. The hyena laughed, and the hummingbird whirred, but the ladybird said never a word. But the ladybird saw, and the ladybird heard. She saw two men who she already knew. We know those two men as well from the first story, don't we? They were Lanky Len and Hefty Hugh. And she heard them chuckle, ho, 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 we're going to kidnap Monkey Joe. We'll hide till there's no one there about, and then we'll pick up the lock and we'll get Joe out. And if we give him lots of fruit, he'll do the job and he'll get the loot. The palace isn't far at all. Monkey Joe can scale the wall. That means he can climb the wall. So they're going to get the monkey to go into the palace to steal lots and lots of treasure and money. He'll find out where the Queen's asleep. Then tiptoe into her room he'll creep. He'll open the sack and he'll steal the crown. We'll soon be the richest men in town. Crown, town. That rhymes. The little spotty ladybird told the animals what she'd heard, and the crocodile snapped and the tiger growled. The lion roared and the monkey howled. The elephant trumped, trump, trump, trump. Harumph, said the camel with a great big hump. The hyena cried and the hummingbird whirred, and all of the animals, all feathered and furred, said no, 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 no. We can't let them kidnap Monkey Joe. But the ladybird had a good idea, and she whispered it into the monkey's ear. Then straight away the ladybird flew to the palace and had a word with the queen's 2 corgis, Willow and Holly. And one said gosh and the other said golly. They look a bit like Mrs. Lee's dogs, don't they? They look a bit like my Hallie. I looked for her today, but I think she's gone outside into the garden because it's such a lovely sunny day. So I have to bring her in to see you another day. And both the dogs agreed to do what the ladybird had told them to. Ooh, I wonder what the ladybird has told them to do. At the dead of night, the 2 bad men, Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len, checked there was no one else about. Then they picked the lock and they got Joe out. Oh, no, look, they've taken him out of his cage in the zoo. They carried him out of the palace gate and off to the palace, gave him a sack, and then they lay him in wait. They watched him scale the palace wall, and then they muttered, "Careful not to fall." Then they rubbed their hands as they saw him creeping into the room where the queen was sleeping. Creeping, sleeping. That rhymes. Corgi Holly and Corgi Willow, who lay each side of the queen's soft pillow, Willow, pillow, were wide awake, and they said to Joe, "Come on, monkey, off we go." They led the way while the queen still slept, and they showed young Joe where their bones were kept. And then they helped the monkey fill the sack, and they wagged their tails, and they carried it back. I don't think that's what they are expecting to be in that bag, do you? I think they're expecting it to be treasure. I don't think they're expecting it to be dog bones, do you? The 2 thieves yelled, "Hip, hip, hooray! Now let's make our getaway." They carried the sack to the nice, quiet park, where the only sound was the distant bark. They found a bench and they both sat down. And then Hugh said, "Time to see that crown." "I just can't wait," said Lanky Len. And they opened up the sack, but then you should have heard their moans and their groans to find that the sack was full of bones. Moans, groans, bones. They all rhyme. Just then a dog came bounding up, and Hugh said, "Shoo, you greedy pup." Another dog was close behind, and then came dogs of every kind. I think my Hallie would like to come and be able to choose one of these bones to eat. a lurcher and a Labrador, a peak, a pug, and then more and more. Black dogs, white dogs, grey dogs and brown. It seemed like every dog in town. They seized the bones and they gnashed and they gnawed. They tugged and they tussled and they pawed and they clawed. Then they turned upon the robbers yelping. How about a second helping? The thieves took off with leaps and bounds. They pursued by all the hungry hounds, while the monkey ran and the ladybird flew, with never a stop until they were back at the zoo. Flew and zoo, more rhyming words. Then the crocodile grinned and the tiger pranced. The lion leapt and the monkeys danced. The elephant triumphed, trump, trump, trump. Hooray, said the camel with a great big hump. The hyena laughed and the hummingbird whirred, but the ladybird never said a word. So she kept quiet all the time, but she was the one who saved the day and told the corgis in the Queen's palace to watch out for the monkey and to play a trick on those nasty thieves who were going to steal the Queen's crown. What did they put in the sack instead of the crown and all the jewels that they wanted to steal? That's right, lots and lots of dog bones, wasn't it? And who came when they opened the sack in the park? Who came to eat all those bones? Loads and loads of dogs. I bet they were very, very surprised when they saw all those dogs coming. So that was another story today. What the ladybird heard on holiday. So quite a long story today. So I think you were sitting and listening very, very carefully. So well done, all of you. And if you have got this book at home, you could ask Mummy and Daddy to read it to you again. And you could see if you could hear those rhyming words. And like I said, perhaps write some of those, or ask Mummy and Daddy to write some of those rhyming words down for you. So you're really hearing all those different sounds. So well done, everyone. We've got one more story left for this week. So I'll be back again tomorrow to read you another story. Take care and have a lovely day. Bye.